supposed to have some games.
Hey guys, welcome back to Classic G-Body Garage. I got my 80 Cutlass sitting here in the garage. I've been driving it to a couple of car shows and car cruises this summer. I have it tucked away here, just kind of sitting here until I take it out for the next time. So what I wanted to do while I had it at home is take advantage of fixing a few of the problems that the car has. Even though it looks as good as it does have its share of issues. For starters, the exhaust is leaking. It has an exhaust leak at the donut gasket, right where the exhaust manifold meets the downpipe. I'll show you guys that in a minute. Commonly mistaken by an exhaust manifold gasket up where the manifold bolts to the head. Also, the rear end is leaking on this thing. I'm going to have a 273 posi built for it. Probably going to take the rear end out of the Malibu because I have a Grand National rear end for this car. So I'll use the nice clean housing out of the Malibu, have it built, and I'll go ahead and swap it out into the 80 Cutlass here. And the third thing that's wrong with this car is it has an oil leak. It's either the pan gasket, the rear main gasket, which I don't want that to be, or the transmission gasket. And also the steering needs some help as well. It's a little sloppy. So the car does need some mechanical work. I have owned this car for 20 years. It's been driven. It's mostly original except for the paint and under the hood. So it does need some maintenance, some mechanical maintenance. So what I'll do is I'll show you guys exactly how to go about replacing the donut gasket right where the downpipe meets the manifold. Alright, I'm underneath the 80 Cutlass. Got a little flashlight in my hand. So right there is where the exhaust manifold meets the downpipe. There are, at least on a 350 and a 403, there are 3 bolts on the flange. The third one is behind the pipe there. Spring-loaded bolts, 3 of them on a 350 and a 403. The 260 has 2 springs, or 2 sprung bolts. Much smaller pipe. So here's the downpipe, and then there's the catalytic converter, so you guys have an idea of where I'm at on the car. So what I need to do is break these bolts free. Hopefully they don't snap off in the manifold. And I'll go ahead and pull out the donut gasket. Alright, so you can see the smoke coming off of the pipe there. What I had to do is I had to heat these things up with the little torch because I didn't want them snapping off inside of the exhaust manifold there. So got each one of them nice red hot and put the wrench on it with the pry bar and slowly started to turn it, and fortunately each one of the 3 broke free without any problems. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these things and see what we got. Okay, I got the flange off, and you can see right where it has been leaking. You can see the black marks right where the carbon is. That's right where the gasket was leaking. So I'm going to try to drop this pipe down and remove that donut gasket sitting there. Alright, well I got the donut gasket sitting here on the bench, and you can see right where my problem is. The thing's blown right through and disintegrated. There's the new one. And I also have an exhaust manifold sitting here on the bench. This is the passenger side exhaust manifold. Right there is the crossover pipe. And then here is where the downpipe bolts to. These are the 3 bolts I showed you guys. And right here is where the donut gasket sits. You can see one side is where the pipe seals, and the other side is where it fits inside the manifold itself. This ridge right here, that ridge fits inside of that ridge. And there you go. Fits inside there just like that. So this is a common problem with Oldsmobile motors. This donut blows out. It sounds like an actual manifold leak where the manifold bolts to the head on this gasket right here. But it's actually the donut gasket is what fails, and you can see that right there. So I'm going to go ahead and slip this new gasket in there, tighten up the bolts, and we'll hear how it sounds. Alright, well it's sitting here in the garage running, sounding good. All the exhaust rumbling is coming out of the back of the car, as it should, instead of at the downpipe where it was leaking. So what I'm going to do next is pull this thing out of the garage and give it a bath. You can see it's plenty dirty. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring this car back to storage and grab my '79 Calais, the black one that I put the 403 in it, last summer, because I'm going to have a little fun with it this weekend. So be sure you guys subscribe, because I'll have plenty videos of that car coming up soon.
Okay.